Hi everyone, my name is Frank Brown. I run the construction practice at NECA Legal. Today we're going to be talking about some changes that have come into effect for the security of payment regime in ACT. Now, these changes apply to payment claims that have been made for contracts that are entered after 11 March 2024. So, what claims does it apply to? Well, it applies to all valid payment claims for those contracts. If your contract was entered prior to 11 March 2024, then the old Act applies. What changes to entitlement to make progress claims? Well, there's no reference dates. I'll explain a little bit more about what reference dates are in a minute, but basically what you need to know is that now you have a monthly entitlement to make a claim. So that's one claim per month, and if the contract specifies, then you might actually be able to make more. Now, what changes have been made to milestone payments? Milestone payment is what it sounds like. It means that you can make a claim on the achievement of a milestone. That seems to have been entirely removed from the Act, which now means that there's no confusion about a milestone having to be achieved or you're allowed to make a claim monthly. Previously there was some confusion about that, so that is a welcome clarification. Now finally, what changes have been made to due dates for payment? Now, this is a very important one. Now previously the Act allowed for a contract to specify long payment terms, potentially as long as the parties agreed, which could be sometimes up to 75 days or more. Now the maximum due date for payment that can be set in a contract for a valid payment claim is 15 business days. Now that means that the maximum amount of time that you have to wait for payment is now 15 business days rather than potentially longer. Now the due date for payment can also be earlier if it's specified in contract. It just can't be later. As promised, I'm going to talk about what reference dates are. So the concept of reference date has now been removed. So the reference date was a date that the contractor was allowed to make a payment. Now this could be monthly, it could be a time in the month, but also it might not have been monthly. And that meant that the contractor's entitlement to make a claim could be restricted by the contract. It could be every 3 months, and it could also be different times of the month. That's now been changed, and you are definitely allowed to make one claim per month. There's also this concept of a milestone being achieved. Now that was sometimes linked with reference dates, but it appears that the Act and these changes to the Act has now removed that idea of a milestone payment, and it's just reverted to one claim per month. So these are welcome changes because all of these ideas of reference dates and milestone payments, what they would do is they would create some confusion and they would create little ways out for clients or head contractors to not pay payment claims. Now it's quite clear, one claim per month. Right, so what do these changes mean for you? Well, there's a greater entitlement to make a claim. The other change is that there are quicker payment terms. So the maximum due date for payment is now 15 business days rather than upwards of 15 business days to whatever was agreed. That also means that now you can use the adjudication process more quickly. So previously, if the payment terms were, let's say, 30 business days, you'd have to wait 30 business days before you could take a matter to adjudication. Now, the maximum amount of time that you have to wait is 15 business days. If you haven't received payment, you can then immediately after initiate the adjudication process. Now, these changes do not mean that things have become more simple and easier to navigate in the ACT or in any other state for that matter. The security of payment regimes in all states are still quite complicated. So if you do need assistance, then please don't hesitate to reach out and we will give you the support and advice that you need. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope this has been useful for you.